Why do I always forget something important at the store? And why is it always the one thing I need the most? Last Saturday, I decided to do the grocery shopping with my wife. It seemed like a regular trip to the store, nothing too complicated. As usual, my wife handed me a list of items to grab while she went off to pick up the veggies. I took a quick glance at the list. Milk, bread, eggs, cereal. The basics. Easy enough, right? I grabbed a cart and started making my way through the aisles. The store was busy, but I was confident I could get everything on the list in record time. I grabbed the bread, the eggs, and the cereal without any trouble. As I made my way to the dairy section, I noticed a special on chips and soda. Now, I knew these weren't on the list, but who can resist a good deal? So, I tossed them in the cart, feeling pretty pleased with myself. I was killing it, getting everything done quickly and even grabbing a few extras. After a while, I met up with my wife at the checkout, and we loaded the groceries onto the belt. I felt a sense of accomplishment as the cashier scanned each item, and we packed up our bags. We got home, started unpacking the groceries, and that's when it happened. My wife reached into one of the bags, pulled out the ice cream I had picked up, and then looked at me with raised eyebrows. "Where's the milk?" she asked. My heart sank. I froze, trying to remember if I had even walked by the milk section. I quickly checked the bags, hoping it had just been buried under something else. But no. There was no milk. Somehow, in my rush, I had completely forgotten the most basic item on the list. Instead, I had managed to grab not one but 2 tubs of ice cream that weren't even on the list. My wife tried to keep a straight face, but I could see the amusement in her eyes. "You had one job," she said, shaking her head with a grin. Milk was literally at the top of the list. I tried to explain that I'd been distracted by the chips and soda, but it was no use. My wife was already laughing, and I had no choice but to join in. We had all the snacks in the world, but no milk for the cereal or coffee. It was a classic case of getting distracted by the unimportant things and forgetting the one thing we actually needed. Now, every time we go to the store, my wife doesn't let me forget my blunder. As we're heading out the door, she always says, "Don't forget the milk." And when we get to the dairy aisle, she makes sure to remind me again, just in case I'm eyeing something else. Even our friends have gotten in on the joke. Anytime milk is mentioned, someone will inevitably say, "Remember to get it at the store." It's become a running gag, and I have to admit it's pretty funny, though a bit embarrassing. The best part is that the whole incident has become one of those little stories that we tell and retell, especially when we're with family or friends. My wife likes to exaggerate the details, making it sound like I wandered the store for hours before coming home with nothing but junk food. I don't mind, though. It's a small price to pay for a good laugh, and to be honest, the story has taught me a lesson. Now, when I go shopping, I double-check the list before I even think about grabbing extras. I've become a bit obsessive about it, making sure that milk is the first thing in the cart. I guess it's my way of making sure I never live down that infamous grocery trip. But every now and then, I'll find myself reaching for something off-list, and I hear my wife's voice in my head, "Don't forget the milk." It's a reminder that some things are too important to overlook, no matter how good the snacks are.